have, I believe, all the attendees, so we can get started. Okay, can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you.
Perfect.
I would like to call the school board to order for August 5th at 9:02 a.m. for the Des Moines School Board. Ms. Rios, could you please take the roll?
Yes, Ms. Alonso? Here. Ms. Campos? Ms. Campos?
She was walking to her office, so let's keep going.
Okay. Mr. Dix?
Here.
Ms. Knox? Ms. Martirano? Dr. Mayberry Mays?
Here.
Ms. Norris?
Here.
We have quorum.
The first item of business is approval of the agenda. May I have a motion and a second to approve the agenda?
Alonso, so moved.
Dix, second.
We have a motion by Ms. Alonso and a second by Mr. Dix. Is there any discussion or questions? Board members, please cast your votes. Ms. Rios, would you like to call the roll?
Yes. Ms. Alonso?
Before I vote, I know that this is calling for a yes or a no. May I share just some words?
May.
Of course.
I just need to say that I'm feeling very conflicted, and it's a difficult decision. And I know that we have heard from a lot of people, concerned people. And so I've been thinking a lot about, what our role is as board members, what my role is. And I've had several conversations, and I think I have to remember that my job is to be supportive of families and children in this district. We need a pedagogy that is responsive to the makeup of our district, because that's ultimately what's going to get us to the student outcomes that we have been working so hard to reach. And it's my belief that we need a mindset that continues to elevate DMPS values. And then ultimately, as a member of this board, my job is to represent the vision and values of this community. So my vote is no. Thank you. You are muted.
You're muted, Jackie.
Jackie, you're muted.
Yeah, thanks, everybody. Ms. Alonso, I appreciate the conversation. So to be clear, I'm also going to make sure that we have this conversation after we approve the agenda. So let's first approve the agenda, if that's okay, Ms. Alonso, and then after that, we'll come to the consent agenda, or to the item, which is the personnel item. And that's where we'll allow some public forum and additional comments from board members if there is any, if that's okay.
That is completely okay. And I just jumped, I don't know how many steps.
This is really important.
Perfect.
I appreciate it's important. Yep. So Ms. Rio, just call the roll for approval of the agenda, and then we'll move next to public forum.
Of course. This is the vote for approval of the agenda. Ms. Alonso?
Sí, yes.
Yes. Ms. Campos?
Yes.
Mr. Dix?
Yes.
Dr. Mayberry Mays?
Yes.
Ms. Norris?
Yes. Next on the agenda is the public forum. We provide speakers at the forum an opportunity to address the board for up to 3 minutes regarding items that are not on the board agenda and up to 5 minutes for an agenda item. If anyone wishes to speak during any portion of the business meeting, please email rosa.rios@desmoinesdmschools.org. For the purposes of this meeting, if you put your information in the chat, that would be a better approach if you're not in person. The same speaking protocols apply to all individuals who wish to address the board. Speakers will be called individually, and we ask they state their name and city prior to providing comments. Guests of the board are encouraged to speak to matters relating to the programs, services, and operations of DMPS. Please remember that Iowa law prohibits us from discussing specific employees or their job performance. We ask all speakers to avoid references to personalities or character attacks, as those types of comments do not contribute to the purpose for which this public forum exists. The use of inappropriate language will not be tolerated, and individuals choosing to do so will be gavelled out of order and asked to excuse themselves from the premises or escorted out by district security. As a reminder to the board and public, the board will not engage in a discussion with public forum speakers, as it is our obligation to discuss only matters posted in the public agenda for the sake of transparency and opportunity afforded to all community stakeholders. Matters requiring attention will receive appropriate staff and/or board follow-up at the time of after the meeting. Thanks for your participation. We appreciate your feedback and input. Ms. Rios, do we have any speakers for the public forum?
Yes, we do. Angie McKinley. Okay, you can start.
All right. Good morning, members of the school board. Thank you for the opportunity to speak today. I'm here today because I deeply care about the future of my school, our school, Goodrill Middle School. Under our previous principals, Goodrill's made real progress, building a school culture grounded in equity, inclusion, and strong student relationships. These weren't surface level changes, but years of committed work that all made students and families feel seen, supported, and empowered. As you consider our next leader, we ask that you vote for someone who will carry out that work moving forward, not having us start over. Our community needs a principal who shares our values around social justice, equity, and belonging, and is ready to lead with the same heart and long-term dedication we've come to rely on at our school. We've come a long way. Please help us continue moving forward with a leader who reflects and respects the strengths of our diverse community. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other speakers? No? Online? No? Okay. We may proceed.
Thank you for speaking. The next item on our agenda is B1 personnel items. Dr. Roberts, would you like to introduce the matter, or should we move forward with any questions or discussion from the board? You're on mute.
Madam Chair, thank you. I certainly am open to us following the script, and I'm happy to recommend that the board approve the attachment with a list of personal recommendations. After which, Madam Chair, is on a point of order, then we can certainly proceed with discussions.
Great. So with that, board members, I'm going to ask you to cast your votes, please, for item B1.
Actually, we still need to have someone make the motion and a second.
Thank you. All
Then
right.
open up for questions.
Yeah, thank you. May I have a motion and a second?
Alonso, so moved.
Dix
We have a
second.
motion. We have a motion by Ms. Alonso and a second by Mr. Dix. Are there any questions at this point, board member, or comments?
Do we need to repeat what I've shared already?
No, Ms.
Or-
Alonso, I think that was good. I was just going to highlight that as a result of a lot of conversation, I think that's been elevated to Dr. Roberts. He has offered to put forth just an understanding of a greater understanding for the board of how the process works, how the hiring process works, and how they work through the selection process. And so I did want to let board members know that that was coming and requested by the board. And Dr. Roberts, I think that's going to be coming in a couple of weeks. So just wanted to call that out since this has been an issue that's been weighing heavy on the minds of people right now.
Yes, Madam Chair. As a matter of fact, the board will have access to that information, which eliminates our process by the end of this week.
Great. Thank you so much. Okay, with that, board members, please cast your votes. Ms. Rios, would you please call the roll?
Yes. Ms. Alonso?
No.
Ms. Campos?
No.
Mr. Dix?
Yes.
Dr. Mayberry Mays?
Yes.
Ms. Norris?
Yes. The vote is approved 3-2. And with that, we will call for us to end the board meeting. So the board meeting will end at 9:13 on August 5th. Thank you so much, everybody, for participating.
Madam Chair, if I may, in a point of order, is it the board's desire to, given the sensitive nature of this meeting, for us to adjourn at this time, or is the board open to hearing any comments? And I'm certainly open to going either direction, Madam Chair.
You'd like, just to be clear, you're seeking comments from the board?
The board, and certainly if the board is so pleased, I'm happy to also share 1 or 2 minutes, or I'm also happy to go with the direction of the board in maintaining the protocol of adjourning the meeting at this time. Either one works for us.
Yeah, let's take 2 minutes. I think we're comfortable navigating the lines of how we're running the meeting, but let's I think we limit it to a couple of minutes, and then the board's gonna have some time to look at the information that you presented, and then maybe we can come back and ask some additional questions. And just to illuminate this for people that are listening, I think the process of how people go through the process, how they're hired and selected, is one that the superintendent leads, and so and then the board approves based on the superintendent's recommendation. And so the board is trying to still learn more and understand the factors that go into the selection process. With that, I think Dr. Roberts will give you a couple of minutes, and then maybe if we decide we want to have a longer conversation, then we can do that at another meeting.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And I want to thank, I don't remember who it was, but one of our amazing Goodwill teachers, staff, who shared some remarks earlier. I want to echo those sentiments in that Goodwill has done just an amazing job of creating and cultivating an environment where students can thrive under their previous leadership, someone who was just recently promoted into a different role. With that said, I know that our speaker also anchored some of what they're doing in cultural responsivity. And I want to really sort of share with everyone who is listening that the district will continue to maintain our commitment to be one that focuses on culturally responsive leadership and pedagogy. We have inserted that in our strategic plan, and it's not just another pleasant sounding rhetoric. It's a practice we intend to have. I would say with the utmost level of humility that I have been a scholar and researcher and practitioner of culturally responsive leadership, implementing all of the functional dimensions of this practice. And so when we've looked at our recently refined HR practices around recruiting, interviewing, and hiring, we've anchored, right, this and every other decision in those tenets. From a process standpoint, I commend our HR team because they followed that process, I think, with a great level of fidelity, which is why we've arrived at a selection decision. And with that said, I also want to really share that it is our commitment to ensure that we are supporting 100% of our school leaders who are selected to every position to make sure that they're set up for success. Because if a leader is not successful, then a school will not be. Similarly, we are maintaining our position to ensure that schools continue to sort of build on the successes that they've had, to ensure that every student who knocks on their doors is given exactly what they need to be their best selves, so that every single lived experience is valued and valid. I want to also share that Harvard Law School graduate and best-selling author Brian Stevenson, in his best-selling book Just Mercy, published in 2014, really talked a lot about how do we value people's experiences. And one of the things that stands out to me is Brian Stevenson said people are so much better than the worst thing that they've ever done. And that's sort of some of the tenets in which, when we talk about what it does mean to be a culturally responsive leader, in which we ought to anchor how we support this work. And the last thing I want to ask and share with the board with the utmost level of humility is when we think about recommendations for school leaders or any staff, any personal position, I want us to be thoughtful about not setting a precedent whereby we are opposed to personal recommendations that is not necessarily anchored in the kind of information that we know is compelling. I intend to, and I've shared this with the Goodwill teachers and staff, make sure that they are going to receive all of the support they need to receive for them to be successful. My team, executive cabinet members and tactical cabinet members, all of whom will be involved in the work of Goodwill Middle School, are also sharing and have expressed that commitment, Madam Chair and Board. And we want to make sure that as the school year starts on August 25th, that those students, teachers in that community has everything that they need to be wildly successful, and we will continue to support that team. And I thank the teachers for continuing to demonstrate agency, to express voice, teachers and staff, and it speaks so much about their passion and commitment. Anyone who has visited that building will know that that's a group of individuals that we want to keep in place, keep intact, and value. Thank you, Madam Chair and Board.
Great. Thank you, Dr. Roberts. At this point, we will adjourn the meeting at 9:19 on August 5th. Thanks so much for participating.
Thank you.